Welcome back to Quick Theological Thoughts. Today I want to play a clip and just kind of, I promise I'll keep this one short. It's a clip from the movie Blade Runner, and I kind of mentioned this in one of the previous podcasts. So let's pull it up. I just want you to think about this for a moment. It is Roy Batty and his girl. I think, therefore I am. So let's play it.
We're not computers, Sebastian. We're physical.
I think, Sebastian. Therefore I am.
Think about that.
We're not computers, Sebastian. We're physical.
So we're not computers, Sebastian, right? We're physical. There's something biological. There's something about us that's different from things, right? We're real. And she says, I think, therefore I am. It's an old philosophical quote. We've all probably heard it, and we've all said it. We all think it. We all think it's true. What does that mean, really? What does that mean, I think, therefore I am? Well, think about where it's starting. It's starting with me. And don't we all start with me? Right? We all start with me. When somebody tells you something that you've experienced that you think is true, and that person says, no, what you think is true is false, you can't believe it. Because in your mind, it's true. Where do we really experience that? If you've had children, if you remember when you were a kid, and your mom or your dad says, no, that's not what happened. It was this. And you're like, no, it's not what happened. Your parents have more mature eyeballs than you do, right? When you were 4 years old and something happened and you remember a certain way, and years later you said, oh, this is what happened. And your parents are like, no, that's not what happened at all. You have completely misinterpreted it. And you're like, no, I was there. And you just can't let it go, right? You can't let it go. Well, why? Why are children that way? Why do we do that? As adults we do that. Why? Because we start with ourselves. We trust our experiences. We trust our senses, right? And to a degree, that's fine. I mean, to a degree. But how many times have we been proved wrong about things? Lots of times. We have to step back and look at this statement, I think, therefore I am. Well, I think, therefore I am, starts with the conclusion and the premise, right? I think, therefore I am. How do you know that you think? Well, because I am. I'm here. I'm thinking. I mean, if there was ever a circular statement, that's it. It's an irrational statement. But there is a problem. How do we know that we know? How do we know? I was asked, and I dealt with it in one of the previous podcasts, how do we know that the Christian God is the true God? I can't even know that I am. Right? And you can't know. The problem with the statement is that it starts with you and ends with you, and it's all about you, and you are the ultimate. There is no God, right? And the guy that made the movie series, Blade Runner and Aliens and that whole world, Prometheus, which are fun movies. I like, thrillers, and they're scary and they're horror, but the director is a clear-cut secularist. There is no God. He really is starting off with I think, therefore I am. And there's no grounding there. There's no way to say that statement is true. Roy Batty's character and the girl in that, Priss in that movie, their characters, It's the statement, I think, therefore I am, is meaningless. And the whole movie is about him trying to preserve his life. He's trying to figure out the meaning of life. He's trying to figure out who he is. And he got some peace at the end, but I'm sorry. He perishes lost. He perishes with nothing. He has absolutely nothing. The grounding to be able to say that I am anything is the fact that God is, therefore I am. Right? God is, therefore I am. He is the necessary prerequisite. We talked about this before. He's the necessary prerequisite for my being able to think. Yeah, but we're always wrong. I mean, you just used the example that your parents told you that what you thought happened when you were a kid, it was completely wrong. That doesn't follow. It doesn't follow to say that therefore you can't know. Because to say that I was wrong demonstrates that we have to be able to know. Once you say you can't know anything, so the other extreme, right, which is non-Christians love to beat me over the head with I think therefore I am, and then turn around and say you can't know anything. They go to both extremes, and can't do that. The fact that you're making an argument means that you believe you think you know something. Well, how do you really know that you know something? Well, you know something because you're made in the image and likeness of God. You know something because you were made by God to know. You don't have to know things infallibly. Right? You don't have to be infallible. A lot of people get caught up on that. Well, if I can't know infallibly, then I can't really know anything. I can't know anything with certainty if I can't know infallibly. Is that statement true? It's like when you said that just now. Did it sound stupid to you? It should. But we say things like that all the time, and we don't even catch ourselves in our own stupidity. Why? Because we're sinners. And we miss the plain and obvious truth that's right in front of our faces. You know, that nose that I have trouble seeing. I can't see it. Yeah, it's right there on my face. When you look in the mirror, it's plain as day. I breathe through it. It's there. Despite the fact that I can't quite see it. I see it a little bit, but the grounding for knowledge, the grounding for knowing that I am a creature of God is because he made me. So Roy Batty's character, they're trying to figure out their humanity. They're trying to figure out their creatureliness, and they're starting with themselves. They know that they exist. They know that they are there. But the movie offers no real grounding, and the main character, Roy Batty, has no real grounding for what he's doing. He has no real grounding for why he is. And all he can do is assert that he is. So, anyway, if you ever get a chance to watch the original Blade Runner, and if you've never seen it before, watch it. It's a movie that struggles with humanity, and it's an extremely secular movie. The sequel, which is excellent, definitely rated R, but it's an excellent movie, but it's very, very secular, very hopeless, very without God, very lost. Very much a description of our society. And that's the sad part of it all, right? But it's good to see things like that. If you're going to be engaged with the culture around you, figure out, well, what's going on here? Why do people think the way they think? Well, it's because they start with themselves, which is idolatry, right? Why do we get to start with ourselves? Who says we get to start with ourselves? Oh, me. Because I'm the ultimate. No, God is the ultimate. And we were made by and for and to Jesus Christ. He is the Savior of the world. He is Lord of all. So it's to him we should turn. It's to him we should start. You know, it says that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. You want knowledge? Start with God. Fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. You want true wisdom and understanding of the world? You start with God. You start with his revelation, not your own revelation to yourself. His revelation to you. Because God is able to create, he is able to speak, and he is able to make you able to know things, including him. And how do we know him? Through the scriptures, mainly, right? You can look at the creation and know that God exists, but you want to know him, you got to go to his revelation in the Bible. Well, have a great day. God bless. Be good.